Hey y'all, it's me, Amy Lettingham, the relationship coach. We're gonna wait a few minutes just to let people join, and I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. So if you can, just make a comment below. I'm gonna be looking on my phone too, just to make sure that the streaming works, because I'm using a whole new process, a webcam, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So if you're here and you're joining, please let me know you're here by just messaging, maybe giving me a thumbs up so I know you're here. And actually, I'm all cash right now. Hi. Oh, great. I'm so glad Margot's here. Hi. So you heard me. Great. That means it's working. So totally cash right now, wearing my little Star Wars shirt here. I know that there's Trekkies out there that are probably giving me the evil eye. If you're joining and you're a total Trekkie or Star Wars fan, leave a comment below. I want to find out how many of them do we have here. But yes, as you know, I am a Star Wars fan. Now I'm not totally, addicted to it, but I love all the Star Wars movies. All right, so I just want you to know we're here because this discussion is about learning what the number one reason for failed marriages and divorce is about, right? We had a lot of answers, which was really cool. I thought it was extremely awesome that everyone shared their comments. Let me pull it up. Of course, now that I'm on Facebook Live, my phone doesn't want to work. Technology never ever wants to help you. And of course, okay. So I'm going to pull it up though on my computer here. Hopefully I can get it going. So anyways, here's the deal. We're going to talk about it today. But before we start, and again, if you're just joining, let me know you can hear me so I can make sure that we talk about our discussion today. I got about 30 comments from you guys. I got to tell you, it was really exciting to see what y'all thought, because I thought the same thing too. You would think it was like adultery or maybe finances, right? But it actually wasn't. All right, got my Facebook up on my phone. All right, so Angie actually wrote, marrying someone you aren't truly compatible with. That seemed to be one of the popular ones. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I'm definitely going to answer them. And also, if you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to, share it in public, your challenges, please DM me and I'll personally answer your questions, or you can visit me at amythedatingcoach.com. My goal here, honestly, is to help you stop wasting your time with dating and to be more mindful with dating so that you can find lasting love and keep lasting love in your life, right? So the more aware and conscious we are about this information, these studies that are done about relationships and dating, the better it is for us, so that we can start shifting our behaviors and avoiding these type of, toxic relationships. So back to Angie, by the way. Angie Britton said, marrying someone that you aren't truly compatible with. And 6 of you like that. And you thought it was very true. And I'm going to share with you the number one reason for divorce is actually bad communication. Yep. And if you think about it, there was a study done by American Academy, and I'm going to read this, of matrimonial lawyers. They said communication problems were the number one reason for divorce in the United States. The study stated that 67.5% of all marriage failed because of the breakdown of communications. And the reasons for lack of communication include arguing, the inability to understand their spouse, or the total lack of communication. So listening to what you guys are saying here, marrying someone that you're not compatible with, well, in essence, when you were dating back then, there's a lack of communication, right? From the beginning. Because if we were able to express ourselves and communicate what we wanted or what we needed, or even screen, have a clear understanding of what to screen and ask questions, then we would avoid marrying someone that we're not compatible with. We would know right away. We would be mindful, right? And that's really important. That's why I always tell you, before you date, you have to have your non-negotiables list. Otherwise, you're just out there winging it, going, oh, it feels good, chemistry is nice. And then, 3 months later, you're broken up, going, oh, who was he? Why did I date him? I've said that before, I'm sure. And if you've said that, give me a thumbs up. Hey, Misty, glad to have you here with us. Okay, so Tracy Lowry said, incompatible lifestyles and wanting different things out of life. She said her divorce therapist said it's fun to visit a La La Land, but you can't live there, which is, what we do. We go for the chemistry first, that connection, which is fine, but we forget that there's all this other stuff that we need to find out, and it kind of unfolds as we're dating someone. And then guess what? We're intimate with them, and then all of a sudden it's really, really hard to break free, and then we're trying to fix them or fix the relationship and stay with them. So communication, again, is the reason why these incompatible lifestyles exist, and then the divorce happens and the breakup happens. Why is that? Okay, again, it's you not being clear, or me not being clear, any of us not being clear of the fact that we have beliefs, we have values, we have worldviews. We need to know about ourselves and the person we're dating before we get emotionally attached and get involved with them. So I know they call it the love is blind trap. That's one of my traps that I talk about. How many of you have fallen for that, where you're just like, oh my gosh, it feels so good, it feels so nice, and then you end up staying with them and realizing it wasn't a match from the start, right? Lifestyles are different. So yes, back to communication. That being a great communicator, being able to express yourself, your feelings, all those things, will allow you ahead of time, right? Allow you to screen people that are either going to meet your needs or not. They're going to either say, hey, Amy, I'm sorry, I can't treat you like a priority. I can't communicate with you, or, I can't make you, I can't be affectionate to you. I can't text you or call you or give you words of affirmation. That's just not who I am. Then you can say, okay, bye. You're not a good fit. This is non-negotiable for me. I need this in a relationship in order to strive. But we don't ask those questions. We fear risk of rejection. We fear that we're going to lose the relationship. Rather than saying no to the wrong relationship, we stay and try to prolong it. And another person said, let's see, Tammy said unfaithfulness and abuse. Well, abuse is a non-negotiable. If anybody's doing that to you, get out right away. Whether it's verbal, whether it's, physically, any type of abuse, if they're crossing that boundary, go call, get help, call 911, take care of yourself. I just want to make sure you know that. But unfaithfulness, actually, again, we're wondering okay, well, that's his fault or her fault for that person to be unfaithful. And how many of you guys have been with someone that actually cheated on you? I have, for sure, emotionally and physically with someone else. It really sucks. I mean, if you're there, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you feel what I'm feeling right now. And faithfulness sucks, to be the person on the other end. But again, that's around like a lack of communication. That's actually the number 2 reason they said for divorce. And they said 30% of all divorces involve cheating as well. But not all marriages will result in divorce because of cheating. That's interesting, right? Some people will stay in a relationship and try to make it work. In some states, they don't even allow infidelity to be a cause for a breakdown in marriage. Whoa, okay. But if you really think cheating is, oh, girl, Margot, me too. High five. So if you really think about the cheating part, there's usually a breakdown in communication that causes the cheating, right? So maybe somebody may express their feelings. They're like, listen, I think it's really important for me that you don't talk to that girl. It causes me insecurity, causes me jealousy. And that person just overrides your feelings, dismisses it over and over again, right? So that then you're feeling resentment, anger, and then retaliation sometimes because your needs aren't being met, your requirements aren't being met. So then you just say, you know what, screw it. This person I feel like I'm in a loveless marriage. They're not hearing me. They're not making me feel wanted. Why am I here? And so they go cheat, right? I'm not excusing their behavior. This is like coping mechanisms most people don't have to deal, like they're unable to resolve the situation. So they stay in like an unhappy marriage and then they go out and cheat to survive so that they can have the best of both worlds. They can get their emotional needs met, right? And then the other end is when the person is expressing their feelings and it's just the partner just doesn't get it and isn't listening or is stonewalling and manipulating and is it gaslighting? Yeah, that's the term. That's and that also is somebody that's not willing to work with you, right? And that causes the resentment and anger, and somebody cheats. And then the final one is where we don't take accountability for our own feelings, like where we may feel that our needs or requirements aren't met, but we're unable to express them to our partner, and we keep wanting our partner to just know. I've heard men, mostly women, but I've heard men and women both say, and I used to say this all the time, he should just know. He should just know how I feel. If you heard this before, give me a thumbs up, because I hear it all the time when I'm coaching my private coaching clients. They're like, well, he should just know. I'm like, well, he doesn't read your mind, and if you don't express your feelings, he doesn't know how to treat you like you teach people how to treat you. And so then this person never meets your needs, and then they feel like you're disconnecting because you're passive aggressive, and then they end up cheating on you. And yeah, so when I look back at the guys that cheated on me, part of it was, number one, me not really looking deeper to understand how to express myself, and I was being very mean to them. And I'm not going to say this happens to everyone. Sometimes people are just jerks and they cheat, right? They're just born jerks. But not everyone has the same circumstance. So I just want you to know that cheating does sometimes come from the lack of communication. And they said here in the study is that when somebody starts cheating, then the communication even gets worse because that person isn't making the other person a priority anymore. And then they're just kind of like, screw it, I don't care. And it just continues to build the wall. So do you guys agree with me, or do you think there's another piece of it that I'm missing? If there is, just let me know in the video, And again, like I said, if you have any questions, any comments, any experiences, stories, any knowledge that you can share with us, I would, we all need to learn from each other. This whole process is about, creating better marriages, better relationships in a mindful way. Okay, so I'm going to read more. Bobby Holitz wrote, immature and premature decision making. 100%, that's also tied to communication. It's like we are literally jumping into relationships based on that attraction and chemistry before we've really gotten to know someone. And I always say, like, you got to wait 90 days. It's like a corporate job, like a probationary period, because people start to show their flaws. And that's when the communication tends to break down, because people don't have to be their best selves, or they're not, doing it anymore. So that's also, again, revolved around communication. So a lot of this, it all stems from the lack of communication, and again, not being able to be heard. I know for a fact most of my relationships ended for that very reason, because of the fact that one of us were not heard. And so we reacted, because we didn't have coping mechanisms back then, very poorly towards each other. We started with so much love, so much care, but when things started getting aggressive, passive aggressive, none of us knew how to be vulnerable. And I think when it comes down to, again, the number one reason for divorce and failed marriages is bad communication, lack of communication, is really the risk of being vulnerable. And I think people confuse vulnerability with, and I hear it all the time, if you're a big Brene Brown fan, who knows Brene Brown? If you know Brene Brown, leave a comment, tell me like what your favorite book is, because I love her. But it's like, she explains, she's like, vulnerability isn't about like going up to somebody that you don't know and just like puking on them with every story, every feeling, everything that you've been through. It's really about knowing who you are and taking tremendous risk for showing the person across from you that your real raw feelings about a situation, and risking rejection. So I'm going to give you an example. One of the things like that I shared in a video before is like, I have a skull and crossbones tattoo. I've always wanted one. I got one. It's scurvy, the little Paul Frank one. And I got judged by a lot of guys. Like, they would look at me, and because I looked like I used to work in corporate America, so I'd be in like suits and stuff like that. And the guy would just be like, just throw a label on me and just be like, oh God, so, you're like, you must be crazy and wild. And I mean, nowadays everyone has a tattoo, but back in the day when I got it, it was still a little taboo. So I literally started feeling shame, right, around what I did and my identity. And I really hid it for a really long time in dating, and I didn't tell anyone. And so I'm kind of a person that is very open-minded, very fun. I play guitar. I like the arts. And I started muting my identity a lot, because I was trying to fit in a box that all these men that I was dating, thinking that if I just make them like me, if I just tell them what they want to hear, they'll date me, they'll be with me. And what ended up happening is, within 3 months, we'd break up. Why? 3 to 5 months. Because of the fact that they found out who I really was. And it was, I wasn't communicating or expressing my truths, right? So this is where communication really is important in dating, guys, is that I actually started working on owning who I am and feeling confident with who I am, right? And that was the only way that I could actually attract someone that would accept me for who I am. So that takes 100% acceptance of self. And tell me if you struggle with this. Are you like a people pleaser? Do you feel like sometimes you end up trying to like impress the person across from you? If you do, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Tell me what your biggest challenge is, because I know this is something we all struggle with, especially when we want to show our best selves, right? So I had to work on really being clear about my identity, and create 100% acceptance within myself. And then when I started dating, I started, wanting that from the person across from me, right? The people that I was dating. So rather than like fitting into a box for them, I started looking to see if they fit into my box. That's kind of naughty. There goes my brain. But I'm just saying they have to fit my mold. They have to make sure that I was, they were a good fit for me. And so I will tell you, communication really helped me do that. I would use vulnerability and share parts of me, not all of it, but parts of some things that I really loved. And I would sit back and I'd watch. How would this guy react to something I said? Is he going to judge me? Or is he going to share the same interest or think that it's the coolest thing? And so it helps me kind of decipher by being authentic and accepting 100% of myself, whether that guy should be in my life or not. And as I started vetting these people, I'm realizing, oh my God, I realized there are guys out there that will like me for who I am. And if I change myself and be someone that they want, I'm never going to attract the guy that's meant to be with me. I'm never going to find that guy, and I'm going to be stressed out. I mean, when you try to pretend to be someone you're not, and I did this, I'm sure, and if you've done this before, let me know, just thumbs up. But it's exhausting. It's stressful. It's tiring. And then you feel like you're losing it, right? So by being authentic, seeing if this person is really meant for you, you actually you'll notice the energy in the relationship. And when I coach my private coaching clients, the first thing I ask them is, how does it feel? And they start noticing, they're like, oh my gosh, I meant to love my life and it feels different. Like it feels easy. It feels comfortable. It doesn't feel complicated. It doesn't feel frustrating. I don't have to change anyone. We're just planning our vacation trip rather than me trying to figure out how to make him different or make her different so that I can love her or like her. So that's the importance. Communication, again, is the number one reason for divorce. And so if you can get clear, and I can help you with this, okay? If you can get clear about your ideal partner, your non-negotiables, and your values, your core values, your beliefs, then you can ask the questions up front and make sure people are aligned with you before you invest your heart, before you become committed, and allow you to actually use vulnerability as a screening tool to find the love of your life. And that's exactly how I found my husband. He loved my tattoo. He loved that I used to ride motorcycles. He loved that I play guitar. He loved me just for who I am. And then I actually am, kind of out of the box, a different type of person. And that's what you got to own, okay? And I know you have so many strengths, and I want you to own that. Like, take a pen and paper today, write out the things that you're embarrassed about, flip them around, and start owning them as your truth, and in a positive way say, this is who I am. Love me or leave me. I don't need you in my life. I only want people that accept me 100% the way I am, the way I accept myself. Okay, before we end though, guys, any questions, comments, anything that you guys have going on? I'm here. I'm going to hang out for a little while because this is fun. This is a really important topic, and I think you can get a lot of value from it. So while we're waiting for questions, I do want to ask you a question. I'm thinking of doing, because I love cooking, right? I'm thinking of doing a cooking and dating type of show. And I kind of want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that would be fun? Like where we share a recipe, something that's easy to make for a date, and then some dating tips along with that. So that, and then, what we could do on a weekly basis, I'll ask you guys, like, what dating tips or what subject do you want me to talk about that week? and then I'll kind of design, some tips around that so that I can answer your questions, or we can just have you ask the questions a week ahead. So do you think that would be fun? Would that be something you'd want to see or watch? Because I think it would be really fun, because I like cooking. How many of you like to cook? If you like to cook, let me know. And what's your favorite dish? If you do like to cook, maybe I need some of your recipes. And feel free to leave a recipe link in the comment section so I know what is it that you like to cook. Okay. All right. If this is you don't want to ask your question in public, you want to do it, in a private way, just send me a direct message or go to amythedatingcoach.com and send me a message there. I'm here to help. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you for joining me. I think this is an important topic. If you notice, everything, there's a symptom and then there's a cause. As you know, everything revolves around communication. So if you're not doing well at communicating or expressing your feelings, I would love to help you. Feel free to reach out to me and I will share my resources with you. All right. Have a wonderful evening and thanks for joining me tonight. And you know me, I believe in making a world a better place, one relationship at a time. So I'll see you next time. Bye.